How you guys doing? Is the sound in the video okay? Okay. While you guys are thinking about it, let me get started. Oh, an acquired taste. How you doing? Hi, Javier. JJ. Good to hear. Great. Um, I think I may have mentioned this earlier today. This is my FP Journe Chronometer Souverain, and it's in the platinum version. And the thing of it is, I love wearing this watch, but for the last several months, it's been running very slow because it needs service. And I haven't gotten around to take it into New York. I like to drop them off at the boutique rather than sending them directly to Miami. Somehow I think that if I do that, they'll take better care of it at the service place in Miami. Who knows? Hey, Mark. Hi, John. So anyway, but the thing of it is I simply enjoy the watch. I mean, it's every time I put it on, I feel good. And I was looking at my collection, and I've got about 8 watches that I feel that way. Every time I put them on, it just feels great. And there are other ones that are good watches, but I just that doesn't happen. The new watch that we made, I get that from. Every time I put this on, this is just wow, this is just it just feels great. I got a new band for it, and I'm waiting for another new band that I got. But it's like I know that Mark, you're a guy who's got an FP Journe who really likes it. Um, I care if it's slow, Mark. I like it to be. I mean, it's very accurate. After it has service, it's fine again. But I it's sort of like having a relative who isn't feeling well, and you want to take care of them. Hi, Tim. So anyway, so let's talk about that. What is it in a watch that just makes you feel good about it? And this morning we talked about ones that are just sort of, I don't know. You just they're not much fun. Hi, Owen. How you doing? By the way, next week, Owen, yours is coming. I thought I better tell you. Either let's see, probably Wednesday or Thursday. Off they go. Um, okay, so let's. Hey, Brian, how you doing? Let's talk about the watches. Any watch you have, it doesn't have to be a great one. It could be a G-Shock. Um, but a watch that every time you put on, you just say, ah, just something about it. I mean, you don't have to go dancing in the streets or anything like that, but yeah, just say, wow, this is a cool. Just makes you feel right. What do you got? What do you think would be a good one? I mean, that makes you feel that way. I can name mine. Both of my H Mosers, for totally different reasons. They might as well be from two different planets. I love them both, and they're fun to wear. I'm always happy when I have them on. My Van Cleef and Arpels, the one. Let's see if I can get the RDC et Word d'hier. What a name! I can't pronounce the name, but then it's about this long for a name. But I really enjoy wearing it, and also you wind it backwards. I've never had a watch like that before. It has a jumping hour, two double jumping hours, one local, one away. Has a retrograde minutes. Everything about it is sort of. I got to put my glasses on to read it and everything, but it's just more fun to have on. My German watch, Glangenheim. God, I love wearing that watch. my Vacheron Constantin 1921, my Urban Jurgensen. Any one of those watches, it just sort of makes my day. And oh, got them over there. I have to. And then and like I said, this one I got recently, and did if I didn't have so many other watches I enjoyed wearing, I'd wear this one all the time, or this one all the time. I have it, and it just sort of. But there's something about them. They're good watches. One thing I think it's important. But I have some other really good watches that I just don't get the same kick out of. Um, One that I do like, but I don't wear that much is my Beauvais. I like the Beauvais a lot for about a million different reasons, um, but I don't wear it that much. There's another watch too I sort of like and hate at the same time, and that's the Kristen Vanderclaw because it's so blasted hard to set. But when I have it on, I like it, but I just don't wear it that much. Yeah, Tim. Yeah, they are. You have to. I could have. I'm trying to think. Um, oh, let me think. I'm trying to think of a. Oh, I know one. Another one I just love having on, and that's Chaumet, my Chaumet Dandy Arty. I mean, that thing's got it has an ETA in it as a base movement, but then it has those two Agonaise gears that make this little Ferris wheel go around as smooth as anything. And there's something about that watch. But that watch, I got to tell you, that thing they could put a hamster on a running wheel on that thing. That is such a beautiful watch. It really is. The case is deep. I don't have another watch like it. But see, that's what I mean is that you have some watches that there's just something about them. And that's a good thing. This is our hobby. We should, have something. That's what I don't understand. There's certain watches that I guess at one time I felt that way about, and I didn't quite have that same feeling about them. And then they left, but I always had it when they were here. One example was my one of my early watches I had when I was working. Um, working. God, I haven't stopped working, but I have been retired. Is the my overseas, my Vacheron Constantin overseas. Love that watch, wore it every day, made me feel great every day. My collection wasn't very big. I was afraid to wear my Patek Philippe Calatrava because someone told me, oh, those are fairly delicate. So, well, crazy. Quality of workmanship, dial, hand, case movement, and that pauses, proud to wear. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they just like, this makes my day fun. Hey, Truman, happy Super Bowl weekend. Okay. I really enjoy Super Bowls when I don't have a dog in the fight. I enjoy them much more. For a number of years, when the Patriots were always in, or just about every other year they were in, I'd go through this anxiety watching the Patriots win or lose, but it was always angst, terrible angst. But this year, Philadelphia and uh, St. Louis, St. Louis Cardinals, yeah. St. Louis are playing, and you know it's neither team do I feel one way or the other about. Let's see. Um, Mont Blanc World Timer, yes. 2011 GPHE Petite Aiguille winner, exactly. Someone, yeah. Oh, well, I'm glad you liked it. It's really funny you mentioned that, Brian, because I was looking at it today. By the way, a guy sent me this thing and want to know if it's any good. And the same place that I mentioned, I don't know if you got it there, but it was at what's the name of it? The Watch Outlet. Watch Outlet. The guy sent me this spreadsheet today, and the Watch Outlet had sent him this sheet of Mont Blancs, and they have all these sales on. There was one that I really, really liked, and it's World Timer. Now, there that particular World Timer that they had, I think it's got an ETA or something like that in it. It's not a bad watch. It's just before they started putting their own movements in it, and I've been looking for a World Timer forever, and I'm thinking, well, the one I really like, a World Timer. I tell you, a World Timer I liked. It would have this feeling. It'd be fun to wear every day. Is the one by I think it's part of their geophysic line of watches that they quit having by Jaeger-LeCoultre. That one I would really like. I think it would be have that feeling to it. Um, let's see what you guys have. Hi, JJ. Every time I wear my date, just I smile. I've had it for 39 years. Yeah, there's a guy that I met who and he was just a regular kind of client. He was doing something for me, and he had a Rolex. I think it was a probably a sub or something like that, and he'd had it since 1995, and it was one of those watches to him. He just loved wearing it all the time. A Moser Pioneer. Oh, I love Mosers. I am back in the bandwagon as my daily. Just bought my second one. H Mosers. I really like. I like their Heritage line. Um, there's. I'm in trouble again. We've got you know, we have another one by Larique we have 2 more planned, and I look forward to those, but there are a couple other ones I like too, so I gotta take the ones that, I gotta sell some of them. This was one I was talking about this morning. It's a wonderful watch. It's a Daniel Roth, chronograph, but, I think that's gonna have to go to the auction man, as much as I like it. I like the movement. I like everything about it except doesn't do much for me, and I'm not a big chronograph fan. So, but so this is it doesn't have to be what I like. It's got to be what you like. That's whatever it is, and it doesn't have to be sort of. It can be an unpopular one. That's even better if it's unpopular. I found this Chaumet Dandy Arty, but um, I'm afraid it's too fancy to wear every day. Probably right, but it's fun to wear. God, those things are fun. Um, it's the kind of watch with a tuxedo and the patent leather slippers and that whole kind of get up that would just go beautifully with that. But you know what? I'm thinking, with a plaid shirt and a redneck bar, you could go in there with that dandy. Hey guys, look what I got. It's that much fun. It's just a fun watch. Kansas Chief. Oh, it's Kansas City, right? Sorry, Truman. um, I haven't had a dog in the fight for almost 30 years. I know Washington. They even changed the name of your team. That was rotten. You know. God. Oh, hey Lee, how you doing? Sports fan that can't watch it if it's yeah, I know I get too involved. Listen, I've been a Charger fan. I sort of like those ducklings. When they start imprinting on somebody and they follow them around no matter what. That's me and the Chargers. Even I for San Diego, we used to go to Charger games, and they would. This is when Dan Fouts was quarterback, and they would just do all of these great things. Then they'd lose. It's unbelievable. They had some kind of. They still have a record of having the most points of any team, but they also have a record for having the most points against them. The great teams in the 1980s that San Francisco had, most of their defense they traded from San Diego. Enough about football. I mean, if we have some Philadelphia or Kansas City fans here, Good luck to both of you. But like I said, it's more fun when there's no dog in the fight. Nomos World Timer is quirky and inexpensive. Amiga Aquatero World. I really like the Omega um, Seamaster, the Aquatero. I really like those. I guess the thing that sort of spoiled it for me, it probably made their watches more accurate, is when they started stuffing silicone air springs in them. But that's me. Um, I love Mont Blanc. Yeah, the Nicholas Ricciu, that was, I think, Jonathan, wasn't that the first one that they had their own in-house movement in? Um, that's a nice watch. It's really a nice watch. I like that a lot. That was another one I was looking at today. It's funny you mention it. Hi, Radzia. Kadoki watches are great. Yeah, I agree. Those are neat ones. I really like those. Old Stefan Kadoki. He has the one I really like. I like his second one. I think with the night and day up at 12 o'clock. I love that watch. Hi, Javier. Hand wound Christopher Ward. Oh, Morgan. Yes, yes. That Christopher Ward. I love their Morgan line. I love Morgans. That's why. That's something that I'd win the lotto. When I win the lotto, I'm going to get a Christopher Ward Morgan to go with my Morgan +4. Off I go. Um, you want to see your wife again, Brian? Yeah, yeah, I understand that. I purchased a Weiss made in Nashville. It's time only, hand wound, and it's butter smooth. I really like this handmade watch. Oh wow, Weiss. Yeah, he's the guy in L.A., isn't he? I think. 49ers fan back in the Joe Montana and Steve Young days. I know that was so unfair. They had such good teams then. Being a Charger fan back then was, you sort of, the Boston fans when we first came up here. That was the Boston and Chicago both. Their baseball teams that were hexed, and they would do all kinds of things. Now that they've won, we don't have to listen to them anymore. But the thing of it is, Chargers, you got to be tough to be a Charger fan, I think. You have to be fatalistic because they're going to lose. And I don't care, where I am. Here I am, been out here for God, I don't know how long, but um, and my wife's a Cowboy fan, so I mean, okay, I'll go with the Cowboys. I want peace in the family too. Hi, Andrew. Last time Dallas won a Super Bowl, my grandpa had pocket watch. I tell you, that's sort of funny. Um, I I remember who was the old coach of Dallas? Tom somebody or other. Anyway, I saw him, the guy he had a funny hat too. Um, yeah, at a Charger game, and the Chargers were figuring out how to lose. They did. And the Dallas fans, it was really funny watching the Dallas fans. They were biting their nails playing the Chargers. Everybody does because back then they had so many points. They would just, if there was enough time to score against them, they would be fine. Hi, Fat Angus. How you doing? I like Mont Blanc World Timer. That was the one. I tell you, if you like the Mont Blanc World Timer, they have a Orbis, I think it's called Orbis something or other. They have some really good buys on that watch at um, the watch outlet. And I think the price they have listed is like 29 or something like that. But I saw this spreadsheet, and the guy you can get it for a lot less than that if you like one of those. But I've been ruling after that, but I have too many other commitments, so to speak. Oh, you get the Bel Canto. Yeah, well, now the Bel Canto is that's a neat watch that Christopher Ward has. That thing is, I think you talk about a watch that, boom, everybody loves that watch. Tom Landry, that's right, Andrew. That you watch old Landry out there. He looked like he was a sourpuss even when they were winning, kind of guy. Yes, Weiss has moved his operation from California to Nashville. He has since made his own in-house. Oh, really? Yeah, he had. I thought he had something to do with that. Hi, Ivan. Manual wine watches because you get to interact with them. They become part of your routine. I agree. And that's uh, my new one is hand wound. This one's hand wound. This is automatic. Maybe that's why I don't like it. Everything about this watch it's just one of those things. But somebody else may look at it and go, yeah, that's not their thing, and that's okay too. But yeah, Ivan, you're right. You do get to hand wind it. I'll tell you one that you can set up a long-term relationship with is, and I don't know if it's a 4400 movement, caliber 4400 from Vessel and Constantin, or it's the way they have it geared in their American 1921. But that thing winds and winds. You have to wind it and wind it and wind it. And so, what I just sort of have broken it up, but all the time you're there with this big wonderful watch that I love wearing the thing too. That's another one of those watches. They're fun to have. Hi, Michael. Uh, your pump dual time is a good everyday watch. Lee, actually, it is, but I don't use it every day. I just, in fact, I should wear it more, but to me, it's always been my travel watch. And since we really haven't traveled, since the pandemic started, um, I, I don't wear it as much. Um, but then also too, I got my the Van Cleef and Arpels. What's that one called? Yeah, the Air DC at Ur Dayer. Uh, that's a dual timer too, but it's a just a sort of a different kind of dual timer, totally. But it is a cool watch. That is, the reason I like to wear it traveling. It's a steel watch, and it's got a good tough Parmigiani movement in it, and that's a heck of a watch. I would recommend that to anybody who wants a good travel watch. Every day you try a different watch. Yeah, yeah, I do too. It's rotation. But sometimes, like I say, sometimes you have a watch that, boy, this was more fun to wear. And you just keep doing it. A watch with a highly finished case and dial that reveals all of its details over time. You notice something different every time. Yeah. Yeah, that's something else, Ivan. I think it's important for all of us is to really notice your watch. I know, we spent so much time developing this. There's not a anything about this that we don't know in detail. Um, but that makes it all the more interesting. It's just everything about it. And this is true with yeah, I like that. Do you have to be careful about winding the 4400 manual to max without breaking it? No, no, wind the thing up all the way. I like to wind up my watches, fully wind them up, and let them fully go out. Um, I don't want to have the spring bunched up anywhere, and so that's why I let them go all out all the way. There was a watchmaker, a guy who was a friend of mine, he's had he was one of the judges, a Grand Prix judge at one time, and was telling me about that. He said, if you leave it wound up, you always winding it a little, you're going to start bunching it at some point. And but not mine; they get to go all the way down. Unless I start wearing them a lot, all the same ones. Today, I am at the beach, so my JLC Polaris date is, yeah, yeah. That's the Polaris. Yeah, all of JLC has really good watches, and the funny thing is, I got my wife one. I got her Reverso some time ago. That thing has just been a great watch, but I don't have a JLC of my own. That's why, I'm thinking about getting a world timer. That's why the one that they have, oh God, I keep the geophysics. That's what I was trying to think of. Hey, Rancher. Yeah, Ivan, I do too. The Gerald Genta watches were sort of they have a lot of whimsy, and I agree with that. They do. Um, that's another brand. I'm always thinking, well, I want to get one of those too. To sow heritage, I don't need my glasses to see the time. Jonathan, I'm not sure which heritage you have, but the to sow heritage. Um, Petite Seconde, I really like. That's one I always recommend. It doesn't cost a fortune. It's got uh, 2.5 hertz. Love that watch. Jurgen piano. Fun watch is a classic outside and understatement. When it turns it around and watches the movement, it's just joy. Yeah, yeah, that's true. GLC Reverso Hybris mechanical is out of this world. Yeah, that's a nice one. The one my wife has is plain on one side, and then it has. I mean, it's a true sports watch. The first sports watch really was the Reverso. Oh, I'm glad you like them. Oh, how are things in Brazil? Love Brazil. I got to visit Brazil. I was in Argentina and Uruguay some time back, and I wanted to go to Brazil and never got a chance to. I don't hate Rolex. I don't hate Rolex. It just, people, if you don't love Rolex, people think you hate them. It's not that. It just, I just like other watches. I'd rather have other watches. I mean, it's sort of like you shouldn't. I mean, why would I hate Rolex? I because I don't have one? No, it's not that. I just like other watches better. Nothing wrong with Rolex. Uh, and if I got one, the one I'd want to get, probably the what's it called? The one that they quit making. Everything I like, they quit making. The Prince. I really like the Prince. The one that sort of was reintroduced, I think, in 2004. I liked that watch. Then they got rid of it. I liked the Air King, and people said, "Oh, that's no good." They're crazy. That's a great little watch. And I like the oh, what's it called? The Yachtmaster too, because it has this really amazing piece of horology in it for the countdown element for a regatta. Love that watch. But neither one of those watches are very popular with Rolex fans. Oh, I could care less. But on the other hand, there's so many other watches that I like. People, yeah, it's not a hater. That's crazy. It really there's in fact, I don't think there's a single brand that I hate. There's some very popular brands that I don't like because they don't tell the truth about their movement, but that's different. Um, and there in fact some of them that I really don't like. I used to just love, but I figured, what are they fudging on the name of on really what they have? Who would like that? Milgauss. Yeah, John, the Milgauss. Think about the Milgauss. The Air King had the same movement as the Milgauss until just recently. How about that? Cellini Prince. Yeah, that's the one I like. Machiavellian Rolex. That's the one. You missed the Lorraine. I didn't miss it. Nishima surpassed. Have you seen the Reservoir? Yeah, um, yeah, those are interesting watches. They have, I think, aren't they part I mean, they're part like electric or something. I'm not sure. Hey, Fat, the Cellini Prince came in four very different face variants with different matching movements, finishing. That was one of the things I really liked about them. You could follow the Guillot shape from the dial to the plates in the movement. Just, I mean, this is what got me. Okay, here's sort of a grump about Rolex, which is sort of a left-handed compliment, but it's still something it's upsetting. That movement that is in there is a beautiful movement. The way they have the little finger bridges coming up and just gorgeous. Not only can you see the movement, it's hand wound. It's got everything. Rolex buyers didn't care for it, so whoop, out the door it went. If I could have one watch, what would it be? Man, that's a tough one, Mike. I don't know. Probably this one right now. The one we just finished. God, I tell you, the Larique, it's got everything I like in a watch. It's got it has a movement. It's hand wound. I don't have another watch that winds like this one. It has the smoothest wind to it. The last watch I had that had a smooth wind like this was my Calatrava, but this one's even better. This one is just amazing. But the thing of it is that I don't know if you're a watch collector, how can you have just one watch? Watch straps do make a big difference. Good, that is a great point. This one, I got my blue band on. This is a Jean Rousseau band, and I was just thinking about that because I have another one that I got. It's a cognac colored band for this particular watch. Now, the reason that I saw the cognac band, you wouldn't think it would go well with this the platinum version with the white dial and the black hands, but it looks so cool. And William, who is the guy who runs the boutique in New York, had one, and he's got one of these, and he has that cognac band. So I had him order one. And I've had that for years. But what I did is that um, I was worried that I was going to wear it out, and so I switched into one of the other more mundane bands for it. Having Aaron bespoke with combat straps do a custom strap for my Larique. Left it to his discretion. That, I tell you, he did one of those for Hughes also. Um, what I got, this is by what's it called? I think it's called ABP Concepts. Paris did this strap, and this is a gator strap, but the one that I ordered from Jean Rousseau is one that's more of a ready strap to go with it. And the one that came with it, um, this is a Larique case. I keep in the case, and these are great little straps, and they say they got they're genuine Larique. Yeah, it's just there's more fun stuff we have with this watch, and when I get my new band, I'll probably that's another thing. I think if you want to, if you're, my band and my watch, I'm sort of tired of wearing it. get a new band for it. It's like getting a new watch. So, okay, guys, it's frying pan time. Um, you have an older Wimp with a Novus DUW 2002. Wow. Shape movement. Uh, who would service it? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, guys, listen. I said, hey, Owen, let me see. Suppose a fun watch to wear is like me and an old friend with a watch. It's as if, yes, it is. Thank you guys for coming. Uh, enjoy if you're a American football fan. Enjoy the game tomorrow. I'm gonna watch it, and I don't have to worry about who's gonna win because it's not gonna be the Chargers. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend.